Hello everyone. In this log I'm going to show you the first few enemy types I've added to the game, and the combat I have so far. I've also added weapons and armor, which can be equipped to the player. To start off I have imps. This one here is a purple variant. I plan to have 3, purple, green, and red. Each is going to have slightly different characteristics that change the way you approach the encounter. This purple version is going to be the most common. They're extremely hostile and attack the player and other neutral NPCs on sight. Here you can see I've implemented the weapon and armor slot. One of the items the imps drop are skulls that can be equipped and worn by the player and reduce the amount of damage taken. To start out, I wanted to keep the armor very simple. I only have one slot for the player to equip a helmet. I haven't decided if I should add more slots for gear or if I'll leave it as is as I get further along. Having just the helmet might work for this particular character, because most of his body is metal, with only the face visible. If anyone has any suggestions around this idea, I'd be interested to hear your feedback. As we go over to look at the other enemy type, I want to take a moment to talk about AI in games, and a few examples I think work really well that I'm taking inspiration from. One of the first games I played on the PlayStation was Horizon Zero Dawn. Something I really loved about this game was how the enemies interacted with each other. As you navigate the world of Horizon, there would be these enemies called Watchers, which protect the weaker, more passive AI. These weaker enemy types will call out to the Watchers to come help defend when the player approaches. Another game with one of the best AI I've seen is a 2D game called Rain World. This game uses procedural generation to create unique enemies for the player to encounter. In this game, the player is made to feel they exist on the bottom of the food chain. Most enemies are stronger and attack one another for survival. This approach makes the world feel so much more alive in a way which makes it seem like you're only a visitor in this larger ecosystem. On their own, the enemies hunt and interact with each other in order to survive. What I have in my game so far is very simple compared to the examples I described, but I wanted to keep a similar philosophy that the player is only a small piece in a larger world that exists on its own. The next creature I want to show in my game is a squib. These are passive creatures that roam the world aimlessly, finding locations to lay their eggs. They have no attacks and run away when they take damage. Right now the environment feels a bit gloomy because of the lighting, and because I haven't added in most of the rocks and the buildings of the main town yet. The idea to have these creatures be bioluminescent adds a lot to the environment and makes them stand out. Guarding the squib enemy are father squib. They attack hostile AI when the other squib take damage. In my design document, I've listed these creatures as weak. However, they're really agile and can usually dart away fast enough to avoid taking damage. When the father squib finds eggs in the world, they then turn them into more squib, which then go out to repeat the cycle. What I've done so far is going to inform the style of future creatures moving forward. The squib appear very alien, inspired by sea life. I want this game to be unique, so I'm going to avoid using monsters already seen in other games. I know imps are used in games like Dungeons & Dragons and Diablo, but I think I designed their outfits and tendrils in a unique way to fit into the setting I'm developing. While the purple imps use bones as weapons, the other variants are going to use guns and ranged weaponry. Hopefully this gives you an idea of the direction I'm taking the project going forward. So far it's been really cool watching the imps and squib interact, and I want to keep what I add next running in a similar vein. I think this is a good starting point in creating the type of creatures to populate the area around the main town, Trin Hollow. That about finishes up this log. Before the next log, I want to tidy up the menus and user interface a little bit. I also have some other enemies and NPCs lined up that I want to add in. I want to say thank you to anyone who made it this far in the video. I'll see you in the next one.